Accusations surfaced today suggesting the U.S. is working on Iran's behalf in the talks over its nuclear program. Good morning, I'm Miranda Khan, and this story tops your Newsmax Now update. An Iranian defector, once a top aide to Iran's president, now says the U.S. is mainly working to convince other countries and the six-party talks to go along with the deal. Tomorrow is a deadline to reach an agreement. Meanwhile, as the battle continues for the town of Tikrit in Iraq, Iran now says a U.S. airstrike killed two of its military advisors. Iran's National Guard says an American drone strike last week killed the two Iranians. The U.S. says its strikes have only targeted ISIS. The German co-pilot who crashed a jet into the French Alps last week had been treated for suicidal tendencies. As the search continues in the mountains, a German prosecutor has just revealed that Andreas Lubitz received psychotherapy several years before becoming a pilot, but he says there's still no motive for last week's crash. A German newspaper also has more from the cockpit voice recorder saying it captured the pilot screaming, "For God's sakes, open the door," when Lubitz locked himself in and set the plane on its descent. 150 people died aboard that crash. Search crews in Manhattan's East Village have pulled two bodies from the rubble of the buildings that collapsed last week. They are believed to be the bodies of the two people who have been reported missing.
Most of the buildings, except for the original building that exploded, were searched prior to the collapses, and we know there were no victims in those buildings.
And the buildings came down after an apparent gas explosion. Nearly 24 people were injured in that explosion. It is almost a sure bet that the former head of HP is going to make a White House run. Carly Fiorina tells Fox News that chances are better than 90% that she'll jump into the presidential race. She says she'll make a formal announcement in late April or early May. The biggest threat to America? Maybe President Obama himself. Yeah, that's the view of more than a third of Republicans in a new poll out by Reuters. The president beats Vladimir Putin and Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. 27% of Republicans who see the entire Democratic Party as an imminent threat to the U.S. 22% of Democrats say the same thing about Republicans. And a Muslim family is now building a chair for the Pope. The family of carpenters from Bosnia has been picked to create the chair, which will be used when the Pope visits in June. That was your very latest Newsmax Now update.